it's over for you, brother. It's over for you. Pack it in, right? Pack it in, end it. I'm not saying end it like end your life, but I'm saying pack it in, call it a game, call it a night, call it a day, go home. It's over for you, bro. Start the car, get in your car, go home. It's over.
Hey, what's up, guys? In order to attract the woman that you truly want, you really just need the looks. I'm not gonna sit up here and lie to you guys like red pill dating coaches do and red pill pooers do, and lie to you and tell you that it's your game, or that it's your mindset, or that it's your charisma, it's your personality. It's not any of those things. In order to get the woman you truly want, you know most guys want to attractive women. You know you want a woman who's a 9 or a 10. You know you don't want to land well. You know you want to attract a woman in order to get that woman that you truly want. You know, maybe at school, you're at work, or you're at a club or a bar or social media or dating app. In order to get that hot woman, you just need the looks. That's it. Women want guys who are on their looks level, either on their looks level or above the looks level. That's it. So when you're going out and you're seeing hot women, you know, in dresses, no skirts, heels, they just want better looking guys than them. And that's the guys they're going to send choosing signals to and indicators of interest. So a lot of it is going to be based on your face. A lot of it is going to be based on your height. A lot of it is going to be based on your race or ethnicity. And a lot of it is a way based on your body frame. A lot of women, they just don't date guys, but shorter than them. So if she's a tall Zoomer woman, a lot of these women are tall as hell these days. So she's 5'9" guys. She's not gonna date a guy 5'7", 5'6", 5'5". That's just not the reality of what's going on out here. The women are only going to, they taller guys in them, ideally over 6 foot. You know, that is what I call the Chad height. If you're 6 foot higher, Chad height, so you need the height. In order to highly attract the woman, you're gonna need the height. Now, obviously, if you're beta boxing, if you're using your wallet, if you just lucked up into some money, maybe you're driving a Lambo, then yeah, you can pull women with your money, but she's never gonna respect you. She's never gonna actually sexually desire you. If you're using money, I've read some women. I've read some manifestos by women, and they're called the Woman Dating Bible, stuff like that. Use, and they will say, write in the book, using money is the worst way to get a sexual partner. Women just can't have genuine sexual lust for a guy that has to use money. You know, they call that tricking or escort maxing. Women just can't respect that you have to get her using your looks in order for her to truly, genuinely, sexually desire you. So you have to use the looks, guys. Don't try to cope with any of this status and money or using anything other than your looks, because it's just, not only is it unrealistic, most stores are not going to be millionaires. Most of us are not going to make highest experiences, if 6 figures at all. And then guys mostly don't have status. You know, the average guy is not an internet celebrity the average guy is not influencer. So ultimately, all you have to fall back on is your looks. That's it now. If you go on IG and you're scrolling through, and you've seen attractive woman, you want to slide in her DMs, well, you better have the looks. You better have good, attractive pictures on your profile. And when I'm going to track the pictures, you know, I don't mean some edited stuff, or you're just trying to use good light. I mean physically, when you take a selfie, do you look good? Do you have the looks that she wants again? Do you have the face? The jawline is so important, the eyes are so important, the nose, the hair, all these things matter to get the woman that you truly want, because you have to pass the looks barrier. You know, some people call it the minimum looks requirement. Some people call it the looks barrier. It looks barrier is everything. It's just everything. And to me, it's 95 of dating is just having the looks. The other 5% is just being able to hold a conversation. Obviously you can't be extremely autistic where you, as soon as she asks you a question, your pants and start shaking. Obviously you can't do that. But if you just have the ability to just hold a conversation, hey, how was your weekend? What did you do? What would show you? Watched it on Netflix, just basic conversations, and you have the looks. She's going to want to sleep with you. She's going to send you choosing signals, indicators of interest. She's going to do all the work to make sure that she is able to get your genetics. Now, obviously, you don't have to come in, or you don't have to impregnate her. But sex is sex. So she, in her mind, she's sleeping with the best-looking guy she can find. And that's just what the looks barrier is. The minimum looks requirement. And in my opinion, the minimum looks requirement to pull an attractive woman, or for the woman you really want. It's just 8. You have to be a chat lighter. Chat. Just bottom line. Of course, women will settle for annoy me. Obviously, if she's a land whale or she's not a highly attractive one herself, yeah, she made date a normie. But a lot of these women, their egos are so inflated that even women who are normies, even women who are just average at best, women who, they're slightly overweight, they're doing great faces, great hair, great skin, they think they're attractive women. So even those women only want to date guys significantly better looking than them, guys who are 9s and 10s, and that's just the reality of it. Looks hypergamy in women. They only want to deal with guys better looking than them. They will break up with their current boyfriend to date a better looking guy if they're in a relationship. Also, that's another thing. A lot of these women aren't even looking for relationships. So this idea that every guy can get a girlfriend, that's just cope. These women are out here, are not looking for relationships, especially in America, where these women have a free open dating market. They can do whatever they want. They're not looking for relationships. They're looking to hook up with the Chad. They're looking to sleep with the Chad. They're looking for one night stands with the Chad. They're looking to be pumped and dumped by the Chat. They're not looking for long-term relationships. So, if you even want to sleep with the woman you truly want, you're just going to need the looks. Now, obviously, again, you can look up into a relationship. Maybe the woman was raised right. Of the woman, her parents settled down earlier. They taught her and raised her to settle down, or really with someone who's responsible, someone who can provide for her. Then yeah, you may look up into a long-term relationship, but for the most part, these women out here, they're just looking for the best-looking guy they could find. So I challenge you guys to break your genetic, break your programming. A lot of red pill guys and blue pill guys, they've just been programmed so hard. You have to forget what you've been told about relationships and dating. Just forget all that, being a nice guy, having a good personality. You gotta forget all that. You gotta forget about game frame, holding frame, charisma and escalation techniques, cold approaching tactics, having openers and all that goofy stuff, guys. And a good-looking guy, he just says, hey, I'm John, I'm from California. What's your name? It's just a simple conversation. If you have the looks, she's gonna find you attractive. She's gonna be fawning over you if you have the looks. And that's really what modern dating is just having the looks. Now, here's the hard part, is that a lot of looks outside of your control, and I won't lie to you guys ever, most of looks outside your control is predetermined. We can't control our diet grow up. Your diet growing up has so much impact on your looks. It has so much impact on how you develop the foods you eat as adolescents. Whether your mom breastfed you or not, that has such a big impact on the way that you look, on your height, on the way you grow, you develop. We can't pick our parents, we can't pick our education, we can't pick our IQ grow up, we can't pick where we're born, we can't even control our looks. So a lot of it is predetermined. It's not that the Chad just done anything better than the norm. You're the sub 5. It's not that he has more confidence or better personality or has a better frame or better abundance months. It's not true. He just got lucky. That's it. Just deterministic luck. He hit the genetic lottery. So when we talk about free will, and that's another thing I don't like about the red pill, is they talk about, you got to control what you can control. The reality is very little is within our control. Sure, we have free will, but how many of us really, really are able to utilize free will? Again, we can't control whether women like us or not. We can't control where we were born. We can't control our parents. We can't control our race or ethnicity. We can't control how tall we grew to be. We can't control any of these things. We can't control our bone structure. All those things have a major impact on one's success or one's failure. Not only with women, but in life in general. So to a certain extent, we don't have free will. We can just play the hand we're dealt with. We just roll the dice and go with what we have. But that's why looks maxing is so important. That's the only way. Looks maxing is the only way to cheat your genetics. It's the only way to cheat the cards you're dealt with. It's the only way to ascend. It's the only way to have free will is to actually looks max. Do what you need to do to ascend. Height is a big one. You have to do what you can do to get taller. And that may require leg lengthening surgery, depending on how old you are. For other guys who are, they're still younger, they're still, their growth place is still open. There's other options, this certain medications. There's certain things you can inject to help you grow taller. Maybe it's human growth hormone, stuff like that. Testosterone to help you grow taller for your face, your jawline, your teeth, your eyes, your nose. You have to look at cosmetic surgery, man. You have to sit down with someone who's professional, who does morphs. He can do a morph of your face. You can easily go from a normie to a high-tiering army, or to a chattelite, or from a sub-5 to a high-tier normie, just from having your face morphed, and you get the surgeries that you need to address issues like a bad jawline, a bad face, a bad nose area. Maybe your nose is too wide. Maybe you just don't have the face. So you have to actually do things to improve your situation. You can't just rely on these red pill lies, because it's not going to improve your life. I don't care how much women you call the person you can call about 1,000 women. Just take a year and a cold approach. 1,000 women in order to get the woman you truly want. You're still gonna need the look. A woman may be drunk one night and, she can't make out whether you're a chat or a normie. Maybe she's on some type of drugs, or she popped some pills in the club, or she's at a party and she just wasted stuff, sure. You may look up in that, but you don't want to live a life based on luck. Then the Chad doesn't do that. The Chad walks around and women send them choosing signals. Women send him in indicators of interest. He doesn't rely on luck. That's a normie concept. Just approach 1,000 women. You don't want to walk around thirsty and fawning, spawning a woman. Just do what you can do to ascend, which is the looks maxing. So in order to do that, you're going to have to challenge your reality, forget what you've been told, and really, really embrace the fact that you looks matter, because that's what women are going for. They just go for looks. That's it. That's what this game is all about. That's what the dating game's all about. And you can look on any YouTube site, any social media, and see it. It's all luxism. It's all based on the way that people look. That's why people like certain people, is just the way they look. Your success in any arena where you're showing your face, where you're presenting yourself, it's just based on looks. Any presentation, and doctors have done research on this. PhDs have done research on this. The confidence, all this stuff is a pseudoscience. Body language, it's a pseudoscience. Personality, it's a pseudoscience. Ultimately, people judge whether someone's confident or not based on the way they look. People judge whether someone has a great personality or not based on the way they look. It's the halo effect. The halo effect is real life. The halo effect is reality. The better looking you are, the better your non-physical qualities are going to be perceived to be. So all roads to looks. It's kind of like Rome, ancient Rome. All roads lead back to Rome. Well, and dating and relationships all roll with lead back to looks. So in order to get the woman you truly want, you know, that woman who you're thinking about at night before you go to bed. That woman who you can't get out of your head. In order to get that woman, guys, in order to really get that woman, it's going to be brutal, but you're going to need the looks. That's it. If you don't have the looks, don't even bother approaching her, man, until you have those looks. But guys, that's going to be it for this video.